All right, everybody, here's a big update on the severe weather for tonight, really the smaller threat and the bigger threat tomorrow. I want to start with what's happening right now because this kind of explains what's happening. If you look at the satellite, I've got the radar on here. I've also got what's called the significant tornado parameter. So our first threat for severe weather is this front, which is basically going to become a warm front drifting north. You can see scattered showers along it. Some of that pink, that tells you there's some ingredients for rotating storms. That's the wave I'm watching for tonight. That looks to be the least of our concerns. The bigger concerns will be with the main wave, which you can see in the middle of the country where we're starting to see severe weather break out. This is the main line tomorrow. In between these two, there will be a lull during the overnight hours. Can't totally rule out an isolated strong storm, but right now it looks like that risk would be pretty small overall. So when we look at the outlook for this evening, this is the outlook for today and tonight. You can see the stronger storms off to the west. We've got the low risk for us. That's primarily because we're worried about a tornado risk for our area. But as we go towards tomorrow, that's when we start to see the risk really enhance. You see the area in red. That's a high risk for us. The darker red, that's a very high risk. Level 4 from SPC. For us, that's the very high. We only see this maybe every couple of years. We haven't had one in the Carolinas since 2021. So it's been a long time since we've seen that risk. Here's the risk of tornadoes tomorrow. The area in pink is an area of 15% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of any point on the map. The dashed area, the hatched we call it, that means significant tornadoes are possible. EF2 maybe, or even stronger. So a lot of wind shear in the environment. That's why we're really concerned about the potential for really strong tornadoes, because when we look at the ingredients, the wind shear is off the charts. That's by far the most wind shear I've seen with the system in a long time. So even if we don't get tornadoes, the thing I need you to be wary of are the wind damage risk, because there's 60%. Let me repeat that. There is a 60% chance of damaging straight line winds in that area in pink. That is crazy high. So while tornadoes get all the billing, and they should, they're super dangerous, not everyone's going to get hit by a tornado. In fact, very few of you will. We just don't know where those tornadoes are going to happen. They're really small. But the winds probably could impact a good chunk of you. 60 to 80% of you are going to be impacted by severe winds. So power outages, trees down, that kind of thing, certainly a big possibility as we go into the day tomorrow. I'm going to quickly show you the severe weather risk here. We'll back this up. I'm going to move this out of the way, and we'll show you the risk again. I'm going to back this up this way. And here's the risk. There we go. Okay. Highest risk is going to be winds. Secondary risk is going to be tornadoes. Hail, not as widespread. I'll show you the hail risk here in a minute, but overall, I don't think that'll be our biggest risk. But let's take a look at the futurecast. All right, so our futurecast, trying to hint at some precipitation already, but not likely. You can see, here comes that wave this evening. This is around 5, 6 o'clock. We'll see how this unfolds. I'm not super concerned, but there's enough energy, a 2% chance that one or two of those storms could rotate. That's certainly something to keep an eye on. Those move through. Here's the overnight lull. You could see while you're sleeping, thank goodness. A couple storms east, got to watch those. Yeah, that's why I said you can't totally breathe a sigh of relief. Have those phones charged with your alerts ready to go. Tomorrow, interesting day. We've got waves of showers and storms maybe ahead of the front we're going to have to watch, but I'm really watching this main line right here that arrives in the middle of the day. Starts to move across the area right there. And you can see all of those. It doesn't look impressive, but these all have a lot of wind energy, so rotating storms possible. And you can see them pushing off to the east into the afternoon. And then the main front comes through. Might see redevelopment with that. We'll have to watch that as well. But that is certainly something I'm watching closely, because we could have several waves of thunderstorms. So there's the outlook today, as we mentioned. The outlooks, again, we'll go back to the hail risk there. And then quickly, I'll show you the probabilities of seeing rotating storms. So this is always really interesting to me. We'll kind of play this out here. These are the rotation tracks, right? So I'm going to back this up. You can see this evening, not crazy high, but tomorrow, watch the line approach. You see those tracks? Again, now they're not going to be in these exact locations, but somewhere in that vicinity, we're going to see the potential for some rotating storms with the front during the middle of the day into the afternoon. So that's the big concern. What do we want you to do? Stay weather aware, have a plan, have 3 ways to get warnings. Don't be scared, be prepared. That's what we always say. Again, and don't take it lightly. Not everyone's going to be impacted. I will preface that ahead of time, but the ingredients are in place for somebody to be impacted. I would love to be able to tell you the specific location and time that this is going to happen. Can't do that. I can tell you that in the Carolinas, the ingredients are there for this potential. So please stay weather aware.